It's finally happening. We are getting some relatively beefy information on Warhammer 40k Total War, and we might have, well, not directly a release date, but a release window and the first announcement of a closed beta. Now, before we jump into the nitty-gritty of some of the gameplay they have showed us, even though it was relatively short again, let us talk about the two most important parts, the release date and the beta. So, what can we expect here? Well, first things first, the release date, they didn't really say anything on it. They didn't even give us a window. So, wait, how can you say there might be a release window? Because they did announce the closed beta, and they said the closed beta will start later this year. Now we are all looking at our calendar very quickly and realize it is already June. As we all know, nothing will happen over the summer because that's just how the games industry works. And I will assume that the closed beta will not start before October, if not even later. Now, let's hope that the closed beta is actually not just a marketing trick, but an actual closed beta. And that means they want to take the feedback they are getting there for something more serious and want to make some changes to the game. So let's say closed beta runs for a week or longer, we will see, in October. Then they will make some changes in November and maybe even through December. So my assumption here is very much no, Total Warhammer 40k will not release this year. We will have to wait till 2027, which was kind of what a lot of people assumed already, because we haven't really seen much of the game. And even more importantly, what we have seen looked unfinished. And what I mean with unfinished is that they always gave us like a vertical slice. They only showed us a battle here and there. Like they showed us some of the battlegrounds, right? Some of the planets, but never an interface. Nothing happened. It was mostly still shots. And so it really gave you the feeling of, oh, they don't want to show you much yet because they are still very much heavily working on it. And that's very much also how it looks like in the new nearly 6-minute long video, where most of it is developers talking, which is nice. But we also got some gameplay with the Imperial Guard fighting against the orcs. And there was only one fight, right? And they only showed us a few scenes of it. So again, they give you the impression of, yeah, we don't want to show you more. Like they didn't show any Space Marines. Yes, there was a pretty brief look at Space Marines, but that was from the previous trailer, so that doesn't really count. And we still haven't seen the Elder, right? So we are still missing some pretty important stuff here. And yeah, the whole thing gives you the feeling of they are still like 9 months or so off before the game is releasing. I know nobody wants to hear that, but now with the late beta date this year, and they are still not talking at all about the release date, really gives you the impression, yeah, this is not coming out this year anymore, which of course is unfortunate, but please, Creative Assembly, take your time. As somebody who has played all the Total War games, take your time. Take your time and make it good. But now let's talk a little bit about the gameplay they have actually shown us. Now, as somebody who is a relatively big fan of the Astra Militarum, I have to say what I saw was really good. Like a nice mix of units, right? Even a Baneblade. We got a Baneblade, yeah! That made me really happy, right? Ogrins are fighting. We had different troops, like snipers, stormtroopers. I don't think we have seen any Kazakin troops, as far as I have seen. Please correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but I don't think we have seen any of that. But we saw a good variety of different troops. The same goes for the orcs. There was a nice mix of assault units and range units in it, and the map looks also amazing. Now, what really completely took me off guard was the new movement system. So they are now having a covering system, which makes very much sense, right? You want a cover system. It would be so stupid if they are using the system from the previous Total War games, right? And they would just stand in line and shoot at each other. So I'm really happy with the new cover system they showcased, and also the new movement that they can jump over like some low cover and all that. It looked fantastic. Like, the more I'm looking at this, the more I'm getting the feeling I'm looking at a completely new Total War experience here, and that is amazing, right? There were some people who kind of feared, me included, of course, at the beginning, that this might just be a reskin of Total War Warhammer 3 bottom 40k. And now it becomes very much clear that no, not even remotely close. And it's not even like anything we have seen so far in the Total War universe, right? So I am super happy about this, and it really gives me hope. I hope we will see like a more extended look on just one battle. We also saw the interface for the first time, which looks also very interesting, that they are now showing you how good a unit is against light, medium, or heavy units. And they also show you the equipment they're carrying around. I wonder if you can switch around the equipment, right? If you can click on a unit, and we definitely saw that they had more than just their last gun. And then, let's say, they can switch to something like a thermite bomb or something, right? To throw that against vehicles. I'm really curious if this is just for your information, what they are showing in the interface, or if this is actually something where you can change which weapons you're using against certain enemies, and then the loader will change and how good they are against light, medium, and heavy units. I'm also really happy that they are now going the way again of light, medium, heavy. We had something similar, if you have never played it, in Pharaoh. Not quite, but something similar. And I'm glad that they're moving away from what we have seen in, let's say, the Warhammer games, where it was sometimes too simple, but also a little bit too convoluted in some areas when it came to, okay, which unit is now good against what. You always had to look it up if you really wanted to make sure if your unit is working perfectly fine against another unit. And yeah, I'm glad that they are now taking this path, which is much more readable for new players and veteran alike. But that was amazing. I really enjoyed watching this. Was really hyped for it, even though it was relatively short again. And I'm hoping we will see some more information now on Gamescom. That's probably the next date where they will showcase, hopefully, much more. Gamescom and Germany is very much known for being hype about strategy games, right? Like, strategy games sell very, very well in that country. So I wouldn't be too surprised if they're actually doing a bit bigger showcase there with an audience, which can also hype it up. But that means we have to wait till, I think it's end of August, if I'm not completely mistaken here. So that would be another 2 months. But I think we will make do. With that said, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Definitely give me also your input, how you felt about that new trailer. And then I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like. And also, if you're new to the channel, you want to see, of course, more Warhammer Total War 40k, or whatever they're calling it now, Warhammer 40k Total War. Yes, that's the right thing. I would appreciate if you might subscribe, also because we are focusing completely here on strategy, building, and management games. So if that is your jam, you came to the right place. With that said, thanks so much for watching. Stay safe. Bye-bye.